So welcome all of you that do it just virtually with us. So I was saying 2 blocks might be needed and maybe not. And we have done this before. We're going to be going into gate pose, and we're going to be doing a lot of lateral and hamstring stretches. And this, compared to what we've been doing the last couple of weeks, is definitely a lot more yin feel to it. In fact, some of these we do, you definitely don't want to be pushing. A yang would be really pushing the muscles, and yin is going to be a lot more about just taking it easy. So let me just show you. We're going to, if you decide, okay, you want your blocks, we're going to be working on stretching through this quadricep and up into the psoas as well as the hamstring. So the idea is we would come up onto the knee and try to get our leg as straight as we can. These blocks, if you decide you need them, could just kind of be maybe midway, because we'll inhale, and as we inhale, we lunge into our legs and just try to lift our chest. And then as we exhale, we actually are coming back and move this block out of the way, and we're straightening the leg. Some of us can flex the foot, and we're going to come down over the leg if your body lets you. Now, maybe the flexing of the foot is too intense in your leg, and some of you have to keep your knee bent, but we're going to be moving in and out of that. So if you feel like you can't get your fingertips on the floor, your hands down on the floor, that's where your blocks will really be of help. We also will be doing triangle pose. So if you decide you want to use that for triangle, you can. We'll be doing gate. Oh, hi, Christina. We'll be doing gate, and this is the one where we come with our leg out to the side and we end up coming over this way, right? And we'll do that a few times. This is after we've warmed up. And from there, we move into arm balance. Again, we've done this before, but when we come into an arm balance, we need to turn our knee, and then you can come up into your arm balance if you decide, or you can do the full Vastasana that some of you were doing the last session. That'll be up to you. But right from there, we'll be coming in to a seated position. So just make sure your knee is okay here. You can always adjust it if you need to. And then from there, I think you get the rest of it as we go along. So you may not need the 2 blocks, but if you do, there you go. So thank you, everybody. So let's go ahead, find your comfortable place for your pranayama. I'm just going to go ahead and switch our music here. And of course, if you have any questions, please let me know. Yeah, it's kind of nice to just let ourselves get settled, especially here we are midweek, right? There's a lot of outside stimuli, and one of the best ways to condition our bodies is to really be able to center and calm the body and the mind. It's one of the healthiest things we can do for our system. Just take a second. Just obviously you can hear the music in the room, but what other sounds might be going on in your room? Some of you, it's a cat. Whatever it is, see if you can just allow that sound to just keep bringing you back into your breath. Notice the temperature of your room. And let's take our awareness inside now and bring our awareness to the base of our head and our neck. Let your chin just soften to parallel. I invite you just to take a moment to let your shoulders release back and down. Slowly drift your awareness from the base of your head down through your throat, the notch in your throat, until you're pausing at the center of your chest. You know, all of this month we've been talking about the heart center and talking about how we can get ourselves guarded here. You know, if we've had past hurts or we're afraid of being hurt, we can really hold tension here. And I just invite you, if there is anything weighing on you, just allow yourself to open by visualizing, if those of you who visualize, or feeling, whatever it is for you, that when you go to take an exhalation, all of that is just melting down and away, or it's floating out into space. And as you take your inhalation, just feel a sense of calm. Let's just move our awareness down to our navel, and we'll start with our diaphragmatic breath. So each time that you exhale, just feel the navel gently drawing in toward the spine. And as you inhale, allow the belly to release back out again. Just let yourself soften as you do that. You're letting the diaphragm soften. Let the space in between your eyes let go. Relax the jaw. Notice if you're carrying any tension in your shoulders or your upper back or your hips. And when you go to take your next exhalation, just see if you can float your awareness down through your legs, paying attention to the knees and adjusting yourself in whatever way you might need. Noticing the ankles, the tops of your feet, your toes, and even the arches of your feet. And let's just invite our breath to deepen and move into Dirshwasam. So if you take a nice slow exhalation, and on your next inhale, just feel your belly release out and allow the breath to lift up into the rib cage and up and behind your collarbones. And as you exhale, just feel everything roll back down until lastly you can feel your navel drawing in. And as you're feeling the breath, notice that breath passing over the back of your throat. If you haven't created your ujjayi breath, I invite you just to create that sound in the breath. Or silently say saw with each inhale and ha with each exhale. Just allowing ourselves to become fully present. See if you can, elongate the exhalation. Not only when we can take our breath to that count of 5 or longer, but especially getting to the count of 5, we start really stimulating our parasympathetic nervous system. But we're also contracting through the lungs and the intercostal muscles of our rib cage. And when we go to inhale, we're bringing deeper, fuller breaths all the way down into the lower lobes of our lungs. So let's just continue to stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system and move into our Nadi Shodhana. Just find the depth of breath that you feel comfortable for you. And if you'll just let yourself have an exhalation and close off your right nostril with your right thumb and allow your inhale to come through that left nostril when you're ready. And when you finish your inhalation, close off with your ring finger and allow your exhalation to come out the right nostril. Whenever you feel ready, the inhalation will come back through the right side. Just with that feeling of ease. Closing off when you're ready and allowing the exhale to come out the left again to complete your round. When you start up again, see if you can set your intention just to feel coolness in the back of the nasal passage. When you go to take that exhalation, notice the gentle pause at the end of your exhale. And when you're feeling the coolness as the inhalation comes in, notice the gentle pause at the end of your inhalation. When you end up taking your exhalation out the left nostril the next time, that'll be completing your round. So take your time, but when you get there, just let your hand float down. Just pausing and stepping back and just witnessing that breath moving through the body, noticing any after effects of your pranayama. And as always, we'll let our breath be our guide as we go through our asana practice. And I invite those of you that are on your back, if you can please come on up into a seated position. Whatever's comfortable for your knees, feel your shoulders stacked over your hips and reach your arms out until you feel the middle fingertips touch the floor, and let your chin softly draw in. Notice your low back. If you're rounding and you kind of feel your chest collapse, just lean a little forward and lift the chest and the rib cage up. But some of us actually overarch in the back and we need to sort of draw in that rib cage a little bit. So let's take an exhalation, drawing our conscious attention all the way down to our sit bones, and then turn our palms up and think of that 5 count inhalation. Can you lift the arms all the way up with the rib cage coming up, and let your hands come together and allow everything to come back down, but keeping the chest lifted. Chin's going to softly draw down toward the chest. We're going to do that again. Just bring your arms out. But this time, when we get all the way up, we're going to interlace our fingers. And then we'll turn the palms of our hands up toward the ceiling. You can reach way up. You can kind of lean from side to side here. Feel your rib cage lift up and away from your pelvis, and your shoulders up toward the ears, to whatever's okay with your body. And maybe you can draw the fingertips back toward the back of your head a little bit, your baby finger, if you will. Take full deep breaths here. When you go to take your next exhalation, we're going to open our hands and turn the little fingers slightly toward one another and soften our shoulders down and away from our ears. And then just bring your left hand down to the floor. Feel the middle fingertip touch the floor. Shoulders are stacked. This is where our inhalation is going to be each time we come back. So take a nice inhalation here. And when you go to exhale, lean over to the left, keeping the shoulders in line with one another, softly turning your head down toward the mat if it's okay to turn your head. And inhale back where your shoulders and hip are stacked. Can you make that exhalation a 5 count exhale as you lean over, listening to your body, noticing your low back, your rib cage. Now, when you inhale up the next time, we're going to take an exhale once again across to the left, but we're going to pause there. We're going to leave our body right where it is and inhale and bring our right hand back behind us toward our hip with our palm turned up. And then we're going to gently turn our head down toward the mat. Feel like you're pulling your right shoulder away from your right ear. Take an inhalation here. As you exhale, pull your belly in, reach that hand over your head. And if it's okay with your body, maybe you'll turn your head in the direction of your fingers. And then you'll inhale back again. If you're too deep, just lift yourself up a little bit. So we're working through the upper back, neck, shoulders as we reach all through the lateral muscles down even into the hip. Now, I invite you, when you end up taking your exhalation over your head the next time, and you're going to inhale, lift your body up and bring your right fingertips to the floor. Stack your shoulders over your hips. So now you've got your right and your left fingertips on the floor. Pause here, let your chin soften in towards your throat and feel the energy and the blood flow on that right side. Take an exhalation, and when you're ready to inhale, lift your left arm up. When you're ready to exhale, lean over now to the right side. Perhaps your head. Now, if you know you get dizzy, don't turn the head. Just find a spot that's best for you. We'll inhale our way back up. We're moving in and out on this side. We're trying not to allow the top shoulder to fall forward. And if, again, you have a shoulder issue that doesn't allow you to lift your arm over your head, just place your hand maybe on your shoulder and try just lifting your elbow and feel that extension. Now, when you come to your exhalation this next time, see if you can pause there, check in with your low back. You're not overarching. When you're ready to inhale, perhaps you can bring that left hand back behind you with your palm up. It kind of comes down toward the hip a little bit, and you're turning your head. Pause there for a minute. Again, push the left shoulder away and feel the stretch between your right ear and your right shoulder. So we're expanding and contracting here in that area. So let yourself have an inhale, and when you're ready to exhale, pull the belly in, reach over your head, and you can determine whether it feels okay to look up in the direction of your arm or your fingertips, and then let yourself open again. When you're going to take the exhalation over your head the next time, and you're going to inhale, lift your body back up where you can feel the shoulders stacked on top of one another. Pause there. Let your shoulders just soften. Let your hands just come onto your knees for a moment. Chin in towards your chest. So we're going to come up into standing with our feet wide apart, and we're going to warm up the inner thighs, the knees, the ankles. We'll be doing the warrior series today. So we're going to start out with the toes turned out, and remember, hands can be on your knees if you need to. Just exhale and sink softly into your left hip, and then inhale over to the right. If your hands can come down on the floor and your head hangs down, great. Whatever works for your body. But notice, this is the first time we've stretched into this part of the body, so just feel into it. It's no right or wrong. And as we hang here, we're letting our back come back into neutral after our side bends there. So just as you're doing this, I'm just going to review the warrior series with you. So this is the one that we take an exhalation where our fingertips come down to the floor or to whatever depth we feel okay. And then we inhale and extend up, pushing through our heels, and our hands separate. And then we exhale and squat down, and we contract our upper back muscles and open our heart center. And then we lunge over to the left. We come back to the center and we lunge over to the right, and then back and do it again. So let's come to the center now and find that place where your toes are turned out. You're going to squat down, maybe the fingertips touch, whatever depth's okay with you. Bring your hands to your heart and inhale, push straight up through your heels and extend. When you're ready to exhale, squat down and contract your upper back and broaden through your heart. And then exhale, pull the belly in and reach out. You're broadening right through the back of the heart center. We're going to pivot and take that right hand out, and we'll inhale to the center, and we'll pivot to the other side. So whether you pick up that heel or not is up to you. You're going to come back up and do that again. Just float yourself in as deep as your body will allow, but feel yourself press with your heels and activate your glutes each time you come up. And then open that heart center as you draw the elbows down. And think about opening the back of the heart as you pull the belly in firmly. And when you come to the left and you reach your right hand out, you're stretching through the right side of your back. And of course, when we come to the other side, we're reaching through that left side. You're going to do that one more time. Whoa, lost my balance. One more time, just at your rhythm of breath. You can feel the difference. This is considered yang, but it's not as yang as the dragon, right? So when you come up your next time, just bring your hands to your waist, if you will. Check your feet and turn your right heel parallel to the floor, and then turn your left foot out into this triangle position. Now, if you want to use a block, grab your block and place it either to the outside of the leg or the inside, whatever keeps your shoulder in line. So I'm going to invite you to turn your left arm palm up for a minute and take an exhalation and just bring your hand down just below the knee. Now we're going to inhale and straighten our leg and reach back up again. And when you're ready to exhale, just bend your knee and look down towards your foot if you're okay turning your head. Let that right palm just remain up. And I want you, when you come down the next time, to pause there. Now, take your right arm and take it straight up out of your shoulder if you're able to. And then you can determine if you can straighten your front leg. You can put your hand on your block if you would like, or your hand on your leg. You want to feel as though you're drawing the legs, activating the legs toward one another, but you're opening your heart center up toward the ceiling, being mindful of your back. You can stay here, just gently tucking that left buttocks underneath you and your chest open, or you can add the arm piece that we were doing seated. So those of you who can, you can inhale that arm back behind, palm up towards your hip, and you look down at the floor. And then you exhale, pull your belly in, reach over your head, and maybe look up at your fingertips. And then you'll inhale that hand back towards your hip with the palm up and look down at the floor. Activate the core and lift over your head again. Either that or you're just having your arms straight. When you exhale over your head the next time, we're going to inhale all the way up. So you can soften through your knee, activate your bandhas, and just lift on up. Good. Now, switch sides. If you had your block, you might want to bring it on over to the other side. Take your left foot and make it parallel to the back of your mat, and make sure that your front heel lines up with the arch so that you can feel balanced here. We'll let our left palm just turn up, keeping that shoulder in this external rotation, right? And we're just going to take an exhalation and bend through that knee and just slide our hand down, just past the knee, just to feel into that side of the body. Now inhale and straighten your leg and lift your right arm up. As you go to exhale, this left hand's kind of staying with the palm up, just down by your hip for a minute. Maybe you can gaze down towards your foot. Come back up when you're ready. Stretching right through that right side as you lean gently to the left. Now, if you think the next time you come down, our intention is to try to pause there. Now, as you pause there, you can put your hand on your block if you'd like to. Maybe you can straighten your leg. You can also turn your toes, your back leg with your toes turned in toward your right if you'd like. Now, your arm can be extended. Your block can be as low as you want or on your body. If you want to add the piece with the upper back, inhale and drop your hand back, your top hand back towards your hip a little bit, and then turn your head down toward the mat. Pull your belly in as you exhale and reach over your head, maybe turning the head in that direction of the fingers. Inhaling back as you turn your head toward the mat. So you choose. If it feels more appropriate for you to just hold the arm straight up, then please do that. I invite you, when you end up taking that exhale over your head, for those of you who are, just soften through your front knee and lift yourself up, straightening your leg. Good. So we're going to keep our legs wide apart, but I'm going to move my block out of the way. We're going to turn our heels out so that the baby toe and the heel are aligned. Good. Take your left hand to your waist and take your right arm out. Take a deep breath in and exhale over towards your left leg. Let your right hand just come to the outside. It might be the knee, might be the foot. You know your body. And if it's way too tight in the back of the knee, please bend the knee a little bit. You don't want to feel a pull in the back of the knee. A stretch to the hamstring, yes, but not in the back of your knee. Now see if you can just soften here. Maybe you can turn the navel in that direction a little bit. You're really enhancing the stretch through this left hamstring and down through the right side of your your back. So let your breath, as you take your inhalation, you might be able to shift a little bit forward into your feet and bring your awareness right up to your tailbone. And exhale and feel yourself just soften in as you draw the belly and awareness right down to the crown of your head. And then come back up. Now, after you've taken your next exhalation, activate your bandhas and inhale all the way back up again. Take your right hand to the waist when you get up there and take your left hand out. We'll take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we're coming across to this right side. And just be patient and use your breath to determine what depth is okay for your body. You're also working your core here at the same time. You might feel how we tend to want to shift our weight to the back heels, and we want to let the weight shift a little bit forward so the weight is even in our feet. Maybe the navel is turned a little bit toward the leg, maybe not. And you can let your head hang wherever is okay with you. And just inhale your awareness right up to the tailbone, and like a waterfall, just exhale and feel the navel drawing in. Let your awareness fall down to the crown of your head. Now, as you go to take your next exhalation, we're not going to come up. I'm going to ask you to come to the center of your legs. Let your left hand come over onto the left leg. Right hand is on the right leg. And we're just letting ourselves hang in neutral here. We'll take another deep breath in. And when you're ready to exhale, work your way down onto your mat. And we're going to stand up on our knees. And this is where we're going to take, once you get yourself on your knees and you're in a comfortable place, your shoulders are stacked over your hips, we're going to take our left foot out and in front of us. So from a side view, like I was showing you before, you have that leg as straight as you can get it. Now, this is where you'd want your blocks if you think you need blocks, because we're going to bend through this knee and we're going to take an inhalation and try to lunge forward. And then as we exhale, we're going to walk our hands back or have them on our blocks, come over that leg, maybe flex the foot, and then inhale back. Now, one thing I want to point out is when we go to straighten that back or straighten our leg back to stretch over the hamstring, we don't want to drop our hips out of alignment of our right knee. So we don't want to sink our hip down toward our heel at all. We want to keep that hip up in line with our knee. And make sure that you're comfortable on your right kneecap. If you need to lift up your knee and kind of set it back down again, sometimes that helps. When you come back this next time, I'm going to invite you to try to pause over that leg. So you'll get the leg as straight as you can and see if you can sink the body in, maybe not. Some of you can fold all the way in, maybe even your head drops down. And some of you will keep your chest up, and that's good enough. You choose. Whenever we come into a forward fold where we can let ourselves soften over our body and maybe the head drops in, it's actually very calming to the brain. But not if you're in a place where you are beyond a comfortable challenge. Slow the breath down, feel your navel draw in. So we're going to take one more exhalation like that. And then I'm going to invite you to bend your knee and come and stand up on your right knee again. So now this left leg, we're going to take it out to the side of our body into gate pose. I have to slide over a little bit because I'm on the edge of my mat. So we want to have our hips stacked. We have our left hand on our knee. And we're going to inhale and reach the right arm up. So in this position, when we go to lunge over, we're going to take an exhalation. Let your left hand stay to the inside of your leg so that you keep your shoulders stacked. You're not going to go real far. And inhale back up again. So just be patient. It's not a big position you're going to move into. Let your chin maybe turn down toward your left leg as you take your exhale, and then re-extend with your inhale. As we come onto our knee versus standing, it is just deeper than when we're standing. When you come over the next time, we're going to try to pause here. So just let yourself take a nice full exhalation. Take one more exhale, and we'll inhale and lift ourselves up. And we're going to move into our arm balance. Okay, so both of our hands will be coming over to the right. We'll pick up our knee and turn our foot so that it's in line now with our left leg. And then we just try to open ourselves up. Maybe you can stack the shoulders. Some of you will lift the leg. Those of you who want to do a full Vastasana, you slide that bottom leg behind the other leg and come up into a full Vastasana. So either knee on the floor, leg lifted, whatever it is for you. If you're in a full Vastasana where you have both legs extended, you're going to slide your knee back down on the floor. And all of it, if you have your leg up, set your leg down. And we're all going to come into a seated position here, Janu Sirsasana. So we're going to have our left leg out to the side. And we have our right leg bent to whatever degree our knee is going to allow. Now, bring your left hand to the inside, right arm up. Notice your rib cage. You don't want to overarch, but you don't want to be rounded either, right? Take a deep breath in, and you can exhale over to the left. If you need to, bend your knee a little bit and take the hamstring out if you'd like. And then inhale back up. Because sometimes if our hamstring is really tight, we can't get anywhere, right? So we've got our left leg extended and we're coming over with our right hand. Our left hand is on the inside of our leg. Now, as you exhale over this next time, see if you can lift your chest and bring both hands to each side of your leg. And then soften over your leg to whatever degree your body feels okay. Be mindful you're stretching all the way down through your right hip here. Find your breath and just feel your navel gently drawing in. This is where it's very yang. You don't want to push yourself beyond a very comfortable stretch. And you can adjust your left leg in a little bit to the right if you need to. I invite you to let the inhalation once again expand through the body and take an exhale. When you're ready to inhale again, activate your bandhas, lift your chest, and slide your hands back. So we're going to take our right hand back by our hip and we're going to bring our left hand onto our knee. So we're twisting toward the bent leg. Now we're going to inhale and lift our chest. As we exhale, we're going to pull the belly in and let our head just softly turn to the right. And then inhale and just let your chin roll back to the center. So those muscles that we just stretched, we're actually contracting as we pull the navel in. Come back to the center with your head. When you end up coming back to the center, we're going to have two options here. Let go with your left hand, slide your left leg in just a little bit. And one option is to bring both hands behind you and just lift your chest, right? And let the weight come into your hands. However, I think many of you can do the second option. You've got your right hand back by your hip, and you're going to inhale and lift your left arm and push your hips forward. We've done this before, and then you reach back behind you. And as you're pushing your hips forward, you're taking full deep breaths. So whichever one feels okay to you, I'm going to ask you to take one more full inhale, and when you're ready to exhale, unwind out of that. Good. So we're going to come back up onto our knees. Have your block nearby if you need it, because you're going to work the other side. So we're going to step up our right foot. Make sure that you have your hip and your knee aligned. When you're ready, inhale and come forward. Your hands can be down on the block or on the floor. As you exhale, straighten that leg. You can walk the hands back a little bit, maybe flex the foot. Try not to let your hips drop out of alignment of your left knee. And just move back forward again. So work in your range here and let the movement just be guided with your breath as best you can. I'm going to invite you, when you extend out this next time, to try to pause there. See how it feels in this leg. Again, being mindful not to have the pole come right behind the knee. Soften the knee if that happens. And see if you can fall over the leg. Maybe, maybe not. Whatever it is, just find a way to go to your breath. It's very yin. You can't push yourself here. It's all about that art of letting go, if you will, which we know how much we can struggle with that letting go process. Now, once you take your next exhalation, take your time just to bend your knee, lift yourself up, and we're going to step out into gate pose with this right leg. Ever so gracefully, just bringing it out to the right. Get my block out of the way. Make sure you're comfortable on your knee, and just let your right hand come to the inside of your leg. We'll take an inhalation, extend that left arm up, exhale and slide over, keeping that right shoulder forward or the shoulders stacked. The head can turn down to the mat and just lift back up. See if you can just close your eyes if that works for you. And feel your navel drawing in as you take your exhalation, and maybe that head's turning. And again, if your arm isn't able to come over the head, hand on the shoulder, just lifting the elbow if that's possible. If nothing else, hand at the low back and just leaning over. When you come over the next time, can you pause there? Can you feel that you're comfortable in your back? You've got your tailbone dropped, and you're expanding the breath through that left side of the body. Let's take one more exhalation. When you're ready, we're going to lift up, and we'll be moving into our arm balance now, the Vastasana on this left side. So take your time to rearrange your knee, turning that foot so it will line up with the right foot. And then you can begin stacking the shoulders, maybe lifting that leg up, or those of you who want to do full Vastasana, extend the bottom leg as well and lift the body up toward the ceiling. The whole core engages and extends up. If you are in Vastasana, let your knee come down. If your leg is up, let your foot come down. Then we're going to ease our way down into our seated position. So we'll be sitting down with our right leg out to the side and our left knee bent. Or some of you, like I say, may have to keep that leg a little straighter. The other thing you can do, by the way, if you have a hip thing, is prop your block to hold your knee. And it might be more comfortable, hold your knee up, and it might be more comfortable in your hip. So we're going to take the right hand to the inside, lift the left arm up. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, just slide on over to this right side. Take your time to come back up. Just notice the difference in one side compared to the other. Softly turn your head to just release through the neck as you come on over. So I invite you, when you exhale your next time, see if you can just lift up a little bit and pull the belly in and turn your body towards your leg and the hands on each side of that leg. Now, if you find that you're really tight in your hamstring, you can bend that hamstring to let yourself come over a little bit more to feel the lateral stretch or down into the hip. But you judge what's right for your body. You can keep the leg straight and come down over the leg. And just breathe here. Your head can drop all the way in towards your chest if your body's okay with that. Feel your navel gently drawing in. Let's give ourselves one more nice full exhale here. When you're ready, you'll be activating your bandhas and just lifting from the chest, sliding the hands back. And we're going to turn to the left now. So the left hand's going to come back by our hip. Our right hand's going to come onto our knee. So we're turning toward the bent leg. Inhale and lift your chest, chin at the center. And then as you exhale, pull the belly gently in and just let your head turn. And let yourself softly come back to the center. Now, when you end up letting your inhalation bring you back to the center, slide your right leg a little more toward the left. Some of you, again, will just bring your hands back. You'll press through your arms and lift the chest, and that's fine. Others of you, left hand's going to be down on the floor, and you're really pushing through your left hand and pushing the body forward and reaching back. Good, and I can turn this way so you can see from another direction if you need to. So whatever it is for you, let yourself have 2 more breaths if you can. And when you're finished, you're just going to bring yourself on down. When you get down, bring yourself down to your mat, if you will. And we're going to let ourselves, first of all, come into asana. We'll place our hands on our knees and just extend our arms with our inhale. And then activate your belly strongly for a 2 count hold. Some of you can pick your head up for that 2 count hold. And then let your head rest back and re-extend. Really activate the core. Feel your pelvis tilt back, your low back press into the mat. Maybe you can pause, 2 count hold. One more time. Good. So now if you'll just put your feet down on the floor, we're going to step we have bent knees, right? Knees and ankles are in line. We're going to step our heels toward the edge of our mat and turn our toes out into that duck-footed position. Take your arms down by your side and lift your chest up and pull your shoulders down and away from your ears and tuck your shoulder blades under you. And then I invite you to pick up your buttocks off the floor and tilt your pelvis back until you feel the low back come in, and then just set yourself back down. So when you're ready, take an exhalation here. And when you're ready to inhale, push through your heels and slowly lift up 1 vertebra at a time, as high up on to the shoulders as you feel comfortable. Now pick up your toes and rotate them in toward the center of the body, as pigeon-toed as your body lets you, and try to come down 1 vertebra at a time. And you're just going to move in and out of that. Once you're down, you pick up the toes and roll them back out. Take your time to ribbon back up again. We're strengthening our hips as we're doing this, but we're also working all the muscles that attach into the hips as we rotate the femurs, which also are all of the muscles that come down into the knees. And we allow ourselves to open the front of the body as we're lifting up, opening the chest and the shoulders. Now, if you feel when you come up the next time, you might have to adjust your feet. When you come up the next time, if you're okay holding up there, pause there. Let your chest be open. You're pushing through your glutes, but yet you have a nice relaxed jaw. When you're ready, just pick up your toes, rotate them in, and come on down. Nice. If you'll just bring the knees into your chest, let your arms float out into a T shape, and just take a deep breath in and exhale over to your left. Maybe your head will turn gently to the right. And then you're going to inhale back to the center. And just let your exhalation, whenever you're ready, float you over to the right side. If it feels too much to turn your head, it's not necessary, but it does add that additional stretch through the upper back. Once you have completed your 3rd time, your 3rd round, so you're probably almost on your completing your 3rd one. Once you finish, You choose when you come back to the center of your body if you'd like to come into apanasanas, or if you want to come into your happy baby pose, or if you want to just make circles with your legs. What is it that your body is kind of craving for you to do to complete your practice? I'm just going to lower my lighting. Take your time to get yourself set up in whatever way you need for your apanasana. For your shavasana, excuse me, not apanasana, for your shavasana. Where we can just take a moment or two here, and now we've released a lot of the tension from our bodies. We've kept our mind focused on the body, which helps clear the pattern of thought. So now we can allow ourselves just to release even further inward. When you find yourself ready to settle, got your blanket over you or whatever you like, under your knees, whatever it is, take a moment and really allow yourself to just melt into your mat. As you feel the body melt into the mat, let your awareness float back into your breath, and just let your inhalation draw your awareness up to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, just say a silent hum and let your awareness float down to your feet. And a silent so as you let your awareness drift back up to the crown of your head. Just give yourself a moment to attach into the breath. Let yourself know that there's nothing that you need to accomplish. These are just your time. And as you hum down to your feet the next time, I invite you just to go ahead and let go of any control of your breath. Let yourself just witness this giving and receiving that's happening with the breath. Nothing that you have to create, you can just witness it happening. Just know that with each wave of breath, you can allow yourself to let go and move toward a greater place of ease. It's really our willingness to do so. And if thoughts come into your mind, it's okay. It's just the brain doing its thing until it completely settles. And it's not the thoughts, it's whether we get attached to the thought. Just bring it back to your breath. As you deepen that feeling of ease, you might notice as you take your inhalation, this openness that happens. The feeling of expansion. And I invite you just to lift your awareness up to the space in between your eyebrows. Just feel that area soften and broaden. Really allowing the softness now to move over your eyes. Just allowing the muscles of your eyes to let go. Let the softness drift gently down your face until you find yourself at your jaw. And as you pause at the jaw, just let your teeth separate. Feel your tongue softly move away from the roof of your mouth. And follow the softness down your throat until you pause at the notch in the throat. And then softly drift your awareness over your collarbones. When you get to your shoulders, let your shoulders soften back and down. Just know that there's safety in letting go. And when you're ready to follow your next exhalation, let the wave of softness move down through the arms until you feel the softness wash down into the palms of your hands and extend out through each one of your fingers and your thumbs. And just be willing to let go of your upper body completely. And as we pause here, let's just pause and witness the wave-like effect of our exhalation. Allowing ourselves to become more and more calm, more and more at ease. And I invite you just to lift your awareness up to your heart center. And let's focus on the wave-like effect of our inhale. Each time we follow an inhalation, I just invite you to imagine that it's like golden, loving light coming right through your heart center, extending out through the body and into every cell of the body. This feeling of lightness, of love, of openness. And I invite you just to lift your awareness up to the crown of your head. And when you feel ready, just allow a wave of harmony to come down through your body, washing through every cell until it washes right down through the soles of your feet. And you can let go of your body completely. And just pause here and witness this exchange of giving and receiving. And take in the peace and the love that resides here, always waiting for us to just pause and reconnect. And I just invite you to bring your awareness back to your heart center for just a moment. Like I said, through the month of February, I've been sharing with you about self-love. And if we can find that self-love, we can understand the interconnectedness in all of us. And I shared a thought with you by Saint Therese in the Mindful Reflections. And regardless of your spiritual practice or your religion or whatever, there is a connectedness in all of us. And I'd like to share what I shared in Mindful Reflections and also share a thought by Wayne Dyer, who's coming from a completely different place, but saying the same thing. So I'll share with you first what Wayne Dyer has to say. You are a divine creation, a being of light who showed up here as a human being at the exact moment you were supposed to. You are the beloved, a miracle, a part of the internal perfection. And this was what I sent to you today, or Tuesday, excuse me, by Saint Therese. May today there be peace within. May you trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith in yourself and others. May you use the gifts that you have received and pass on the love that has been given to you. May you be content with yourself just the way you are. Let this knowledge settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing, dance, praise, and love. It's there for each and every one of us. I love that one. So we're all very special and unique and have our purpose in being here. So if we start that self-talk that tells us otherwise, just pause and breathe and reconnect. So when you're ready, if you'll just bring yourself on up into your centering position, take your time and just close your eyes once you get there. Feel your shoulders stacked over your hips. Let your hands rest in some comfortable place. And if you'll just take a nice slow breath and just notice how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So one last time, I'm just going to ask you if you'll let your arms float on up till the hands come together in Anjali Mudra. We'll lower down to our forehead just to remind us of those mindful thoughts, at our mouth for mindful words, and at our heart center for mindful actions. And namaste, everybody. Thank you, as always, for being here.